World of YouTube, Teleka site here. Going over a video of a missing YouTuber. I don't know, something came up while I was looking into something, and of course this popped up. And seemed very interesting, and then as the story will go, you will too find it very intriguing, even though it's a very tragic story, and I'm for sure nobody would want this to happen to a relative, friend, of course, whatever the case may be. But unfortunately, as this video would say, mental health could be the issue in this case, but I don't know. This is another case of money and power, and I sure do, and could probably speak for everybody, say that when you, that's right, have a good sum of money, you're gonna use it and your power, especially when you got a little popularity going on for yourself, as is this gentleman did. But mental health is the case of this whole video. But like I say, in my eyes, I do not just go on base facts. You just can't go on the basis. You gotta go on the whole enchilada of what you can think of more. And the fact that, right, somebody, and not only a reverend, mind you, but also an ex-husband could be involved. But for some apparent reason, you know, this YouTuber did not make herself look too good, nor steady or stable in life. Even though she had a, had a diploma, graduated, started going to college. You know, everything was just going right for her. But for some reason, and if you want to watch this and get the full, details of it, but of course I can show you most of it here. But I want to thank channel Nick Crowley for posting this, and it was 3 weeks ago. But like I say, I like to throw in thoughts, theories, and ideas, and not just go over what, this one, theory is. I mean, there is 3 theories, you got this reverend, you got this ex-husband, and you have the mental health issue. But for some reason, I do not believe that mental health is what the cause, even though this girl was acting very strangely towards this one person. But as the story goes, that just before she vanished, she went to a motel, tried to rent a room, but she didn't have enough money, and something about her ID. So she went and took a shuttle bus back to and I think it was where she worked. And for some reason, someone gave her a ride to this place, and they said her behavior was, acting strangely. But as soon as she got back to her place and vehicle, the bus driver claimed that he seen her, acting very erratically, ducked down in the bus. Oh no, he can't see you with me, saying things like that. So I mean, whatever the case may be of what it was, there was Twitter pages made from this girl, and not only all of this, she does 2 YouTube videos, and the thought of her doing these videos. Oh no, actually she did 8 videos. But in the beginning they were saying she did only 2. But when I looked into it, I think I got the right page. It was 8. One showing how to braid her hair. I didn't watch the other ones, but I couldn't find the ones that they were speaking of in there. So it is kind of one of them messed up things. And I do believe her page is still up there too. I mean, I'm going to do a little searching more into this, especially go over the YouTube page. But, you know, wherever this poor girl went, whether she was kidnapped, whether she was, you know, in a bad mental state, hopefully one day they can find her. Which I think, wait a minute, did they find her? Oh yeah, they did find her, sorry. They found her in a, this is where it gets weirder. Because they found her body in a friggin' pond. And yeah, I mean, 3 or 4 months later. So yeah, they do find her body. But the strange thing is, and what really makes it really strange is that when they brought out the cadaver dogs, of course the dogs that sent a person, they sent her to stop at the other side of the road that she was on, where she went into a ditch. I mean, this is the Reverend here, and I was showing you a little. This was, I believe, the first post that was found about someone that she kept claiming that she was meeting or had met, and they were, she was in love with them. They show a whole base of Twitter, even more than this, of her writing and making 5 different pages, 5 or 6 pages, and it all looked like they were talking to herself. But when the Reverend came up, it led to the police that she was obsessed with this man for whatever reason. And the guy had, of course, a wife and 2 kids. And that's where I think comes in foul play. And I believe he is a real popular man, and I'm sure he gets paid good money for what he does. Because as you can see in the picture here, he's all about, you know, slamming himself around the microphone, the pedestal, and making himself look like he's just as high and mighty as the Lord himself, as you would say. But, yeah, she does a lot of commenting, a lot of pages she made of supposedly make-believe conversations, supposedly to this man. And that's when it really, you know, got a radical, and she got hysterical because when she went to the motel, and they were saying if she was in that bad mental state, that she could have, just couldn't take it no more, knowing that she was not going to get the man that she loved. So that's the best way I can describe this and put it. But supposedly he went to the police. They did an investigation. And they did say that, he was filing restraining orders on this girl. Because I think she did show up somewhere one time to try and meet him. Or even went to his friggin' house. Knocked on his door. In the middle of the night, I guess. So yeah, that got concerning, of course. And, I guess she might have been left and went back home or whatever, but I think she flew on a plane to his hometown just to try and meet this guy. Now, there is no evidence of this guy talking to her, of course, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, they say these Twitter emails are all self-explanatory, like she's talking to herself. She kept making different pages for whatever reason. And It's just one of them crazy things. And, you know, it would lead to that one to believe that mental health was a factor in this. But where that turns and makes a twist of its own, as you can see here in another tweet, I have just relocated to be with you, so I really hope you want me so we can be in love and get married and have a couple of babies. Now, of course, here you go, right? Oh, that girl had mental health. But what it was, and here's the restraining order filed against her. And, right, like I said, what it really was she was actually falling in love. And then I've heard of these crazed, you know, friggin' women that do that. And there's a perfect movie out there that I like to make a reference of called Crush with Alicia Silverstone and Carrie, what's his name? I forget, Ellis Carey, I believe. Of course, that guy played in one of my favorite movies, The Princess's Bride. But, yeah, this was the actual restraining order against her. And it did shed some light on what, you know, and why she was acting the way she was. But the way the bus driver seen her, that, oh, you ought to see me. You don't know if there was someone in a vehicle there that night that was hunting her down. You can't disclose that, and that's what I always like to position myself in. And we once again speak of the ex-husband, who probably, like they said in the video where I found out that she was trying to chase this man or whatever. Maybe got jealous, or maybe he was just jealous or bitter because they broke up, you know, whatever the case may be. But these both men were closed out. No charges, no nothing, no looking further in. And why do I say this? Because you'll see in a moment. You reach me though, as you can see here, this is another tweet, and this is when it started getting dark. And I think this was just before she went missing. And you reach me through a demonic portal that gives demons power over me and dilutes my spiritual authority. Please understand that I must protect myself spiritually. So, one could say, yes, this woman really had a mental breakdown because she thought she was in love with someone, but she could not have them. Here is the ex-husband. And this is also, this is another thing that they could have happened. This James Arthur Davis was a friend she knew. Now, not only do we got a ex-husband, a potential stalked reverend, but now you got a good friend that she was traveling to, because whoever was trying to kill her while she was renting a room, while she got into the van, went back to her work to get the money to rent the room, she got in her car, fled off, and tried to go to this guy's house. Now, he's been acquitted, no charges. There's nothing on him if he murdered her. You know, if he was some friend that was a lunatic that said, I could make a story of this and try and kill her and make these other two fools get in trouble type thing, right? And that's the newscast. But here's the strange part of it all. Now, as you can see, this is a mapping. Of course, you know where I'm going with this. Come on. This is a mapping of the highway she was on to go to her friend's house. Lake Charles is actually a pond, they say. But as you can see, areas searched, parked abandoned car, and when the dogs got there, their scent stopped. The scent never led into these woods nor to the lake. Now, the body was found in the lake, pronounced drowned. She drowned, but when the autopsy was done twice, mind you, they found water in her nostrils. So, with that being said, or something with a nasal in their nostrils. Obviously, when someone drowns, they gulp up the water. When someone's being pushed to be drowned, yes, they're fighting, kicking, and they're dragging their head, and they're trying to breathe each way. And that right there, my friends, is the light of the case. And I mean, not only was the body found in the lake, but it was searched the day before it was found, or, even 3 months before it was found. No body. So someone deliberately could have put the body there. So, whatever the case may be, whoever was chasing this woman, I believe, because, the autopsy, or the second autopsy, says different. This search says different. When you don't find the body and it was searched once, how was it overlooked and not found then? Hey, I guess you could say officers make mistakes, but no, this is just too suspicious. And when you get the nostril thing in the nose or whatever, water in the nose, which obviously can't help it, because they're saying that she ran out of her car, was so distraught that she could have ran into the lake and drowned it. But you know what? That's kind of ludicrous too in its own. What is a person gonna do? Be running to a lake and not say, "Whoa, shit!" A normal person, even though she was having a mental breakdown, I would think that water would be freaking cold. And she would run right back out and say, "What am I doing?" Whoa, I don't think she would have just went in there and said, screaming, she's, I'm done with my life, and then let herself drown. That right there is why I believe this is very suspicious. Whether it be the Reverend, because he didn't want to have a bad reputation. Yeah, that's right. Or even if he did, might have sent her some. So anyways, with that being said, and this case just being left up in the air as an accidental drowning, I'm not settled with that. I mean, the facts are there, everything is there, and still, it's a drowning. No, this is like every other case that has bad investigation to it. Or let alone, just something or someone or something that was missed. It's just ridiculous, it's just ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to sit there and say, hey, this person, has a bad reputation, or don't want to get a bad reputation, say so, like the Reverend, or the husband that's jealous out of his freaking mind, or the friend that maybe could have loved, be obsessed over this girl and just, oh yeah, I have an opportunity to kill her, because if I can't have her, nobody can. It all narrows down to to these things that one just can't put the hammer on the nail's head. It makes you think and wonder what the hell is really going on in this world. And, and if this girl had some mental issues, but her family or nobody knew about it, I mean, or even question of who you talking to. I mean, I think they tried talking to her, but maybe didn't answer. But if she had 5 different pages, or let alone if you have someone delusionally doing these kind of things, and thinking that someone loves them, I would think someone would say, hey, we would like to know about this person. We would like to meet this person. But nobody even did that. So, with that being said, anybody with mental health starts acting weird, yeah, you really need to get on that. You just can't let it linger in the air and say, oh, well, she's old enough, she'll figure it out, she's all right, or he's all right. That ain't how it works. I think a lot of people, a lot of young adults still need mentoring by their parents, or, they need more instructions from their parents. Doesn't matter how old they are. They still got a lot of learning to do, especially being brought up and raised in today's society. So that being said, folks, I'm gonna, dingle-dally a little more in this case, but, yep, things like this, boy. Sad situation. Till then, be safe, take care, and always beware. You don't know where anything will bring you these days. Mental health, wackos, etc., etc. Out.